My first experience with DMT changed my view of life and death in a way that has affected me since. I had never heard of DMT before my friend bought some and offered it to me and others after trying it and enjoying his experience. We had taken acid earlier in the night, but by that time it had mostly worn off. I had also had a few drinks, but I was not inebriated. I offered to go first. My friend told me to take 3 large hits, holding in it briefly after each hit, and I did. I first noticed the plastic taste of the chemical, and by the second hit my take on reality was changing. My friend had to light the 3rd hit for me because I had no control of my arms, and when I exhaled the 3rd hit I felt like the world exploded. I was sitting outdoors upright on a picnic table. The first light of the day was coming and above me were green summer trees. I was gazing up at the trees and a geometric pattern of green and orange took over my vision, constantly shifting and changing in an outward glitching pattern. The world felt pixelated. I was aware of a buzzing noise all around me, like cicadas, and it was all I could hear. The geometric pattern lasted a few seconds before my entire vision became a melting rainbow pattern, starting above me and quickly coming down my vision, leaving black above it like a screen wipe in a video. I felt the colors wash down and take the sense of my body sitting on the picnic table with it, and I felt like my body melted into the ground with the colors. I lost all thought of my physical body. I was told afterward that I slid off the picnic table and was lying face down in the dirt for the rest of my experience, moaning softly, but I do not recall that. I was transported to a wide void of space. I was aware that it was a large domed room and I felt like I was in another dimension somewhere in space. I could feel the vastness of the room and it felt bigger than anywhere I could imagine. The walls were made of a geometric pattern, diamond-like, but with more than 4 dimensions. I can also see a pattern of points of light evenly spaced within the diamond pattern, and the pattern was shifting in a precise mathematical order in segments. Everything still felt pixelated and like it was made of the very basic particles of existence. The room was black except for the points of light. I was aware that I was alone in this room and felt as though I was lying on the flat bottom and breathing very slowly. I felt like I was in this space for a very long time and began to think about my physical body. When I concentrated on it, I was aware that my friends were around me comforting me. I realized, without a doubt, that I was in the void where physical death occurs and the energy of the mind moves on. I was not scared at all, but knew with all of my being that when I exhaled my next breath my physical existence would end and my energy would move on to the next phase of being. I felt very at peace with this realization and had no fear of what came next. Somehow I knew that my real self, the true energy of my being, would connect with the rest of the energy in the universe and that it belonged there. I had a sense that I would be reborn, not immediately but eventually, and not necessarily as a human but just in another form. This process, of me exhaling and dying, took a very long time in my mind. I started to wonder why my friends were not getting me help or calling an ambulance, because it felt like I had exhaled my last breath a long time ago and they should be worried. I felt outside myself. I was aware of my body below me somewhere, but I didn't care about it. I felt very at peace and like everything was okay, and like I was truly experiencing death, not just having a strange trip on a drug, but really truly seeing what death was like. I did believe that my physical body was dead. Eventually I started to drift back to my body and then was in it. I felt surprised that I was still alive. I opened my eyes and asked why I was lying on the ground. I felt very disoriented afterward and like my view of the world had changed. My friends told me I had been unconscious for about 7 to 10 minutes, but it felt like I had been gone for days. 4 of my friends smoked DMT after me and none of them had similar experiences. They all saw strange patterns, strange sounds, etc., but none of them went to another plane as I did. Afterward I started to research the drug and saw that other people had reported similar experiences to mine. I truly believe that I experienced what it is like to die and had a life-changing experience. I can't say it's made me less afraid to die because I love living, but feeling like I know what comes next is comforting. It was supremely peaceful and I realized that every living thing is connected by energy. The energy of our bodies moves on from our physical being to become part of the energy of the universe and move on to the next thing that it is needed for. I believe that I was able to experience this because I had no idea what was coming. Having never heard about DMT, other than my friend telling me it was a hallucinogen that would cause a short trip, I had no filter on my brain or fear, and I was free to open myself up fully to the experience. The second time I smoked DMT, I did not go to a different plane. I was too scared to take 3 hits again and only took 2. I saw geometric patterns of green and orange again and was aware the whole time of the buzzing noise in my head and of a plastic taste in my throat. I was scared at first and tensed up, wanting to make it stop. I realized that mentally I wasn't ready to go back to where I went last time. I reminded myself to relax, that there was no stopping the effects, and was able to enjoy the rest of the experience, but it was mostly seeing changing patterns and colors. I am not sure if I will ever do it again because it was such an intense and reality-changing experience, but I am happy that I had it.